been consistent as well about the ideas surrounding the COVID vaccine policies and the way it's playing in terms of the seasons. We know that the Detroit Tigers player, Andrew Chafin, is missing games against the Toronto Blue Jays since he does not meet Canada's COVID vaccine requirement. It's not just him, though, that has done something like this. There's been other sports, other conversations. How could this impact the baseball season and more broadly going forward?
Well, recently, 10 Kansas City Royals, 10, could not cross the Canadian border. They had to bring up minor leaguers. The Royals, however, are not a contender. They just traded Andrew Benintendi, who's a very good player and a nice guy. They just traded him to the Yankees. The Yankees most certainly are a contender. Even though they have a big lead in the American League East, they're trying to finish ahead of the Astros for the best record in the league overall, which would have an effect on playoff seeding. And Benintendi, at this point, is not vaccinated. So if they were to play Toronto tomorrow in Toronto, he could not cross the border. The St. Louis Cardinals' two best players, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, both unvaccinated, missed the 2 games just this past week in Toronto. The Cardinals are in a race with the Brewers in the National League Central and in a race for a wild card spot. So leave aside any medical opinion, leave aside the politics of it. This is a team sport. We're not talking about Novak Djokovic on his own, deciding not to get vaccinated in an individual sport. This is a team sport. And no matter whether you agree or disagree with the mandates or any country's rules and regulations, you are hurting your own team when you don't get vaccinated under these circumstances. If I have another minute here, last year, Aaron Rodgers, unvaccinated, had to miss a game for the Green Bay Packers. I like Aaron Rodgers very much. He's a great, great player and an interesting guy. But you just can't rationalize it. In fact, he came within 1 day of missing 2 games. And had he turned up positive, even if he was asymptomatic, until the NFL changed the rules as the playoffs and the Super Bowl approached, if he had been tested positive again, even if he was entirely asymptomatic, he could have missed a playoff game or a Super Bowl. How can you do that to your team? I just don't understand that. JT Realmuto, who's a catcher for the Phillies, and these guys are making millions of dollars, so missing 2-3 games costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars because they don't get paid for those games. He said it's worth it not to allow Canada to tell me what to do. Forget about geopolitics. What do you tell your teammates? You leave them in the lurch. I don't get it.
I hear it. I wonder what those conversations are like behind closed doors. Thank you for having with me today in front of the cameras as well. We'll be right back, everyone.
One bite of Arby's Hush Puppy breaded